Incredible Alien Encounter Stories, True Extraterrestrial Tales. Prologue. Dr. Eliza Thornton had always been fascinated by the stars. As a child, she would spend countless nights lying on the grassy hill behind her house, gazing up at the twinkling lights that adorned the night sky. It was on one such night, when she was only 8 years old, that she had her first encounter with the unknown. The memory was vivid, even after all these years. She had been staring at a particularly bright star when it suddenly began to move, zigzagging across the sky in a way no aircraft could. Her heart raced with excitement and fear as she watched the light descend rapidly, hovering just above the treetops. In the eerie glow, she could make out the shape of a saucer-like object, humming softly. It lingered for a few moments before shooting off into the heavens, leaving her breathless and forever changed. That night, Eliza made a vow to herself: she would dedicate her life to uncovering the mysteries of the universe. Her path led her to the field of astrophysics, and eventually to the SETI Institute, where she would become a leading expert in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Chapter 1: The Signal. The sterile hum of computers and the rhythmic blinking of lights created a familiar symphony in the control room of the SETI Institute. Dr. Eliza Thornton, now in her mid-30s, sat at her workstation, her eyes fixed on the data streaming across the screen. Years of dedication and countless hours of scanning the cosmos had led to many false alarms and dead ends. But tonight felt different. "Dr. Thornton, you might want to take a look at this," called out Javier, one of her colleagues. His voice carried a mix of excitement and uncertainty that immediately grabbed her attention. Eliza hurried over to Javier's station, where a complex pattern of radio waves was displayed. The signal was unlike any they had seen before, a repeating sequence of prime numbers interspersed with what seemed to be deliberate pauses. "Where is it coming from?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "HD 164,595, about 94 light-years away," Javier replied. "It's definitely not a natural source." Her heart pounded in her chest. Could this be the moment she had been waiting for all her life? The possibility of an intelligent origin for the signal center thrilled down her spine. "We need to verify this with other observatories," Eliza said, trying to keep her excitement in check. "And get the team together. We need to analyze every bit of this data." Over the next few hours, the control room buzzed with activity. Calls were made to observatories around the world, and soon enough, confirmations started pouring in. The signal was real, and it was consistent. Drive, Sam Parker, the team's lead engineer, was the first to arrive. His disheveled hair and rumpled clothes suggested he had rushed over as soon as he got the call. "This better be worth it, Eliza," he grumbled, though his eyes betrayed his curiosity. "It is, Sam. Trust me," Eliza replied with a smile. Next came Dr. Meera Patel, a biologist with a keen interest in astrobiology. She was followed by Lieutenant Alex Chen, a former Air Force pilot now working with SETI as their resident expert on aerospace technology. As the team gathered around, Eliza explained the significance of the signal. "We've detected a series of prime numbers coming from HT 164,595. This is a clear sign of intelligence. We need to figure out who or what is sending it, and why." Sam leaned in, studying the data. "If this is real, it's the biggest discovery in human history." Meera nodded, her eyes wide with excitement. "And it could change everything we know about life in the universe." Alex, ever the skeptic, crossed his arms. "Or it could be a very elaborate hoax." Eliza shook her head. "We've verified it with multiple sources. This is no hoax. We need to prepare for an expedition to investigate further." The room fell silent as the weight of her words sank in. They were about to embark on a journey that could redefine humanity's place in the cosmos. Chapter 2: The Expedition. The months following the discovery of the signal from HT 164,595 were a whirlwind of preparation, planning, and rigorous training. The world watched with bated breath as the SETI Institute, in collaboration with international space agencies, prepared for what would be humanity's most ambitious mission to date. Dr. Eliza Thornton stood in the bustling Mission Control Center, her eyes scanning the myriad of screens displaying data, live feeds, and endless streams of logistical information. The spaceship Odyssey, a state-of-the-art interstellar craft, was being readied for its historic journey. Its sleek, silver hull gleamed under the artificial lights of the hangar, a testament to human ingenuity and the collective effort of countless scientists, engineers, and visionaries. "Eliza, we need to finalize the crew roster," Sam Parker's voice broke through her thoughts. He approached, holding a tablet filled with detailed profiles of potential crew members. "We've got the best candidates, but we need your input on the final selections." Eliza took the tablet and reviewed the list. Each candidate had been meticulously vetted, their skills and expertise critical to the mission's success. "Let's go with these," she said, pointing to a few names. Dr. Laura Kim for medical, Captain Jackson Royce for navigation, and Dr. Robert Lang for communications. "We'll need the best of the best." Sam nodded, making the necessary adjustments. "What about the contingency plans? Are we prepared for every possible scenario?" Eliza sighed. "We've prepared as much as we can. But this mission is unprecedented. We can't predict everything we might encounter out there. We have to trust in our training and our instincts." As the days turned into weeks, the selected crew underwent intensive training. They practiced zero-gravity maneuvers, learned to operate the Odyssey's advanced systems, and simulated potential emergency situations. Despite the grueling regimen, there was a palpable sense of excitement and camaraderie among them. They were pioneers, venturing into the unknown, driven by a shared sense of purpose. One evening, after a particularly exhausting training session, Eliza found herself in the observation deck of the training facility. The large windows offered a breathtaking view of the night sky, the stars twinkling like distant beacons. She was joined by Lieutenant Alex Chen, who handed her a cup of steaming coffee. "Penny for your thoughts?" he asked, leaning against the railing. Eliza took a sip of the coffee, savoring its warmth. "Just thinking about what we'll find out there. The signal, the possibility of intelligent life. It's all so overwhelming." Alex nodded. "Yeah, it's a lot to take in. But we're ready. We've trained for this. And no matter what happens, we'll face it together." His words were comforting, and Eliza appreciated his steady presence. Despite his initial skepticism, Alex had proven to be a reliable and supportive team member. "Thanks, Alex. I needed that." As the launch date approached, the final preparations were made. The Odyssey was stocked with supplies, scientific instruments, and everything the crew would need for their journey. The mission briefings grew more detailed, covering every aspect of the expedition, from the initial departure to the exploration of Aeloria, the planet believed to be the source of the signal. The night before the launch, the crew gathered for a final briefing. Dr. Thornton stood at the front of the room, addressing her team. "Tomorrow, we embark on a journey that could change the course of human history. We've trained hard, prepared for every eventuality, and now, it's time to put our skills to the test. Remember, we're not just scientists and explorers, we're representatives of humanity. Let's make history." The crew responded with a determined cheer, their spirits high despite the gravity of their mission. Launch day arrived with a mix of anticipation and nervous energy. The world watched as the Odyssey's engines roared to life, lifting the ship off the ground and propelling it into the vast expanse of space. Inside, the crew felt the powerful acceleration, their training kicking in as they monitored the ship's systems and ensured everything was functioning smoothly. The journey to HD 164,595 would take several months, even with the Odyssey's advanced propulsion systems. During this time, the crew settled into a routine, conducting experiments, analyzing data, and maintaining the ship. They grew closer, forming bonds that would be crucial for their survival and success. Dr. Meera Patel spent hours in the lab, studying samples and preparing for the biological exploration of Aeloria. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and she often engaged the crew in discussions about the potential life forms they might encounter. Dr. Laura Kim, the ship's medical officer, ensured everyone remained in peak physical condition. She conducted regular health checks, administered treatments for minor ailments, and provided a listening ear for anyone feeling the strain of the journey. Captain Jackson Royce, a seasoned astronaut, navigated the ship with precision and expertise. His calm demeanor and vast experience provided a sense of security for the crew. Dr. Robert Lang, the communications expert, worked tirelessly to maintain contact with Earth and decipher any incoming signals. He was particularly intrigued by the prime number sequence and spent hours analyzing its patterns, hoping to uncover more information. As the Odyssey neared its destination, the crew's anticipation grew. The moment they had trained for, dreamed of, and worked towards was almost upon them. Approaching Aeloria, Captain Royce announced one day, his voice steady but tinged with excitement. The planet loomed ahead, a beautiful orb with swirling clouds and vast oceans. It was a sight that filled the crew with awe and wonder. Dr. Thornton gathered the team in the observation deck, the planet visible through the large windows. "We've made it," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Now, the real adventure begins." The Odyssey entered orbit around Aeloria, and the crew prepared for their first landing. They would explore the surface, search for the source of the signal, and hopefully make contact with the alien civilization they believed existed. As the landing craft descended, the crew experienced a mix of excitement and apprehension. They had trained for this moment, but the reality of stepping onto an alien world was both thrilling and daunting. The craft touched down gently on the surface, and the crew donned their suits, ready to take their first steps. The hatch opened, revealing a landscape unlike anything they had seen before. The sky was a deep shade of blue, and strange, bioluminescent plants dotted the landscape. The air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar flora. Drive, Thornton was the first to step out, her boots sinking into the soft, spongy ground. She looked around, taking in the alien beauty of Aeloria. "It's breathtaking," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. The rest of the crew followed, each member equally captivated by their surroundings. They began their exploration, collecting samples, documenting their findings, and searching for signs of intelligent life. As they ventured further from the landing site, they discovered the ruins of an ancient civilization. The structures were unlike anything on Earth, with intricate carvings and advanced technology. It was clear that the beings who had built this place were highly intelligent and had once thrived on this planet. Dr. Patel examined the carvings, her eyes wide with excitement. "These symbols. They look like a form of communication. We need to study them further." Dr. Lang worked alongside her, recording the symbols and attempting to decipher their meaning. This could be the key to understanding who they were and what happened to them. As the sun set on Aeloria, casting a golden glow over the ruins, the crew gathered to reflect on their discoveries. They had only scratched the surface of what this planet had to offer, and they knew there was much more to uncover. "We've made incredible progress today," Dr. Thornton said, her voice filled with pride. "But this is just the beginning. Tomorrow, we continue our search for answers." The crew nodded in agreement, their determination unwavering. They had come this far, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As night fell, the stars that had once seemed so distant now felt within reach. The journey had only just begun, and the crew of the Odyssey was prepared to unlock the secrets of Aeloria and beyond. Chapter 3: The Journey. The Odyssey's voyage through the void of space was marked by the silent hum of its engines and the distant twinkle of stars, like beacons guiding the crew on their interstellar quest. The ship's advanced propulsion systems, powered by a revolutionary fusion drive, enabled it to traverse vast distances at speeds that had once been the stuff of science fiction. Dr. Eliza Thornton, ever the meticulous scientist, spent the early weeks of the journey poring over the data they had gathered on Aeloria and the enigmatic signal. She was particularly fascinated by the prime number sequence, believing it held the key to understanding the alien civilization they sought. One evening, As she sat in her quarters, her attention was drawn to a sudden fluctuation in the ship's systems. The lights flickered, and a low rumble echoed through the corridors. Concerned, she quickly made her way to the control room. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the unease she felt. Sam Parker was already at the controls, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "We've hit a patch of spatial turbulence. Nothing to worry about, just some minor adjustments needed." Eliza watched as Sam expertly stabilized the ship. His calm demeanor and technical prowess reassured her. "Good work, Sam. Keep an eye on it." As the turbulence subsided, the crew resumed their routines. Each member had specific duties, and their days were filled with a mix of scientific research, physical training, and maintenance tasks. Dr. Meera Patel spent hours in the ship's biology lab, analyzing samples and preparing for the exploration of Aeloria's ecosystems. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and she often engaged the crew in discussions about the potential life forms they might encounter. "Imagine what we could learn from even a single alien microorganism," she mused one day, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "It could revolutionize our understanding of biology." Dr. Laura Kim, the ship's medical officer, ensured everyone remained in peak physical condition. She conducted regular health checks, administered treatments for minor ailments, and provided a listening ear for anyone feeling the strain of the journey. Captain Jackson Royce, a seasoned astronaut with a calm demeanor, navigated the ship with precision and expertise. His vast experience provided a sense of security for the crew, and his quiet confidence was a steadying presence in the face of the unknown. Dr. Robert Lang, the communications expert, worked tirelessly to maintain contact with Earth and decipher any incoming signals. He was particularly intrigued by the prime number sequence and spent hours analyzing its patterns, hoping to uncover more information. As the weeks turned into months, the crew grew closer, forming bonds that would be crucial for their survival and success. They shared meals, stories, and moments of quiet reflection, their camaraderie deepening with each passing day. One evening, after a particularly exhausting training session, the crew gathered in the observation deck. The large windows offered a breathtaking view of the stars, the infinite expanse of space a constant reminder of their mission. "It's incredible, isn't it?" Dr. Patel said, her voice filled with awe. "We're out here, exploring the unknown, making history." Lieutenant Alex Chen, ever the skeptic, smiled wryly. "Just another day at the office." Eliza chuckled. "It's moments like these that remind us why we're here. We're pioneers, venturing into the unknown, driven by a shared sense of purpose." As the crew gazed out at the stars, they felt a renewed sense of determination. They had come this far, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Several months into the journey, the Odyssey encountered an unexpected phenomenon. The ship's sensors detected a massive energy field, unlike anything they had seen before. The field seemed to pulse with a strange, otherworldly energy, and its origin was unknown. "Captain, we've got something on the scanners," Dr. Lang reported, his voice tinged with excitement. It's hard to describe. You need to see this." Captain Royce and Dr. Thornton hurried to the control room, where the data was displayed on the main screen. The energy field appeared as a swirling vortex of colors, its patterns mesmerizing and enigmatic. "What is it?" Eliza asked, her curiosity piqued. Sam Parker shook his head. "I've never seen anything like it. It doesn't match any known phenomena. We should approach with caution." Captain Royce nodded. "Agreed. Let's get a closer look, but maintain a safe distance." As the Odyssey approached the energy field, the crew marveled at its beauty and complexity. The swirling patterns seemed almost alive, and the colors shifted and changed in a hypnotic dance. Dr. Patel was particularly fascinated. This could be a naturally occurring phenomenon, or it could be something created by an advanced civilization. "We need to study it." The crew began conducting a series of experiments, collecting data and analyzing the energy field's properties. They discovered that the field emitted a unique form of radiation, unlike anything they had encountered before. This radiation could have a variety of applications, Dr. Lang speculated. It might even be a form of communication. Eliza nodded thoughtfully. We need to gather as much data as possible. This could be a major breakthrough. As the Odyssey continued its journey, the crew's studies of the energy field yielded fascinating results. They learned that the radiation had unique properties that could potentially be harnessed for advanced technology. The discovery added a new layer of excitement to their mission, and they eagerly anticipated what other mysteries awaited them. Finally, after months of travel, the Odyssey neared its destination. The signal from HD 164,595 had led them to a distant star system, where a beautiful, Earth-like planet loomed ahead. The planet, named Aeloria, was a breathtaking sight, with vast oceans, lush forests, and towering mountains. "We've made it," Captain Royce announced, his voice filled with emotion. "Welcome to Aeloria." The crew gathered in the observation deck, their eyes wide with wonder as they gazed at the alien world. The moment they had trained for, dreamed of, and worked towards was finally upon them. Dr. Thornton addressed the crew, her voice steady and confident. "This is it, everyone. We've traveled across the cosmos to uncover the secrets of this planet and the signal that led us here. Let's make history." The crew responded with a determined cheer, their spirits high despite the gravity of their mission. The Odyssey entered orbit around Aeloria, and the crew prepared for their first landing. They would explore the surface, search for the source of the signal, and hopefully make contact with the alien civilization they believed existed. As the landing craft descended, the crew experienced a mix of excitement and apprehension. They had trained for this moment, but the reality of stepping onto an alien world was both thrilling and daunting. The craft touched down gently on the surface, and the crew donned their suits, ready to take their first steps. The hatch opened, revealing a landscape unlike anything they had seen before. The sky was a deep shade of blue, and strange, bioluminescent plants dotted the landscape. The air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar flora. Dr. Thornton was the first to step out, her boots sinking into the soft, spongy ground. She looked around, taking in the alien beauty of Aeloria. "It's breathtaking," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. The rest of the crew followed, each member equally captivated by their surroundings. They began their exploration, collecting samples, documenting their findings, and searching for signs of intelligent life. As they ventured further from the landing site, they discovered the ruins of an ancient civilization. The structures were unlike anything on Earth, with intricate carvings and advanced technology. It was clear that the beings who had built this place were highly intelligent and had once thrived on this planet. Patel examined the carvings, her eyes wide with excitement. "These symbols. They look like a form of communication. We need to study them further." Dr. Lang worked alongside her, recording the symbols and attempting to decipher their meaning. This could be the key to understanding who they were and what happened to them. As the sun set on Aeloria, casting a golden glow over the ruins, the crew gathered to reflect on their discoveries. They had only scratched the surface of what this planet had to offer, and they knew there was much more to uncover. "We've made incredible progress today," Dr. Thornton said, her voice filled with pride. "But this is just the beginning. Tomorrow, we continue our search for answers." The crew nodded in agreement, their determination unwavering. They had come this far, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As night fell, the stars that had once seemed so distant now felt within reach. The journey had only just begun, and the crew of the Odyssey was prepared to unlock the secrets of Aeloria and beyond. Chapter 4: First Contact. The morning sun rose over Aeloria, casting a warm glow over the alien landscape. The crew of the Odyssey was already up and about, eager to continue their exploration. The discovery of the ancient ruins the previous day had filled them with anticipation, and they were determined to uncover more about the civilization that had once thrived on this planet. Dr. Eliza Thornton led the team back to the ruins, her heart racing with excitement. The structures were more impressive in the daylight, their intricate carvings and advanced technology hinting at a highly sophisticated society. "Let's start by mapping out the area," Eliza suggested. "We need to get a better understanding of the layout before we delve deeper." Dr. Sam Parker and Captain Jackson Royce set up drones to create a detailed map of the ruins. The drones buzzed overhead, capturing high-resolution images and data that would help guide their exploration. As the team spread out, Dr. Meera Patel and Dr. Robert Lang focused on the carvings they had found the previous day. Meera carefully examined the symbols, while Robert recorded everything with meticulous precision. "These carvings seem to depict some kind of story," Meera mused, tracing her fingers over the symbols. "I wish we could understand what they're saying." Robert nodded. "It's like finding a lost book in a language we can't read. But we'll figure it out." Meanwhile, Lieutenant Alex Chen and Dr. Laura Kim explored another part of the ruins, their eyes scanning for any signs of recent activity. The structures were ancient, but there was an eerie sense that they were not entirely abandoned. "Look at this," Alex called out, pointing to a series of strange markings on the ground. "These tracks. They look fresh." Laura knelt down to examine the tracks. "You're right. Whatever made these was here recently. We need to be cautious." As the day progressed, the team uncovered more clues about the ancient civilization. They found remnants of advanced technology, artifacts that hinted at a deep understanding of science and engineering. It was clear that the beings who had lived here were far more advanced than humans in many ways. Then, as the sun began to set, something remarkable happened. The air around the ruins seemed to shimmer, and a faint, melodic hum filled the air. The crew froze, their eyes wide with astonishment. "Do you hear that?" Eliza whispered, her voice filled with awe. The hum grew louder, and suddenly, a figure emerged from the shimmering air. It was tall and slender, with glowing blue skin and large, expressive eyes. The being's presence was both mesmerizing and overwhelming. "Stay calm," Captain Royce said, his voice steady. "We don't know if it's friendly." The being raised its hands, a gesture that seemed peaceful and welcoming. It spoke, its voice melodic and soothing, but the words were incomprehensible. Dr. Lang stepped forward, holding a small device designed to translate alien languages. He activated it, hoping to bridge the communication gap. The device hummed and clicked, processing the sounds. "Greetings," the being's translated voice said. "I am Elindra, a guardian of Aeloria. Welcome, travelers from afar." The crew exchanged astonished glances. They had made contact with an intelligent being, and it was speaking to them. Eliza stepped forward, her heart pounding. "Thank you, Elindra. I am Dr. Eliza Thornton. We come in peace and seek to understand your world." Elindra smiled, a gesture that seemed universal. "Your presence here was foretold. We have been watching, waiting for this moment. You have questions, and we have answers." The crew gathered around, eager to learn more. Elindra led them through the ruins, explaining the history of Aeloria and its people. They had once been a thriving civilization, their knowledge and technology far surpassing anything on Earth. But a cataclysmic event had nearly wiped them out, leaving only a few survivors. "We sought to share our knowledge with the universe," Elindra explained. "But the disaster forced us into hiding. We sent the signal you received, hoping that one day, someone would come." Dr. Patel listened intently, her mind racing with possibilities. "What kind of disaster was it? Can you tell us more?" Elindra's expression grew somber. "A cosmic event, a powerful burst of energy from a distant galaxy. It disrupted our planet's core, causing massive upheavals. Many of our people perished, and our civilization fell into ruin." The crew was silent, absorbing the weight of Elindra's words. The tragedy of Aeloria was a stark reminder of the fragility of life, even for the most advanced civilizations. "Is there anything we can do to help?" Dr. Kim asked, her voice filled with compassion. Elindra nodded. "There is much to rebuild, and your knowledge could aid us. But first, there is something you must see." Elindra led the crew to a hidden chamber deep within the ruins. The walls were adorned with glowing symbols, and at the center of the room was a large, crystalline structure pulsating with energy. "This is the heart of Aeloria," Elindra explained. "It contains the essence of our knowledge and the key to restoring our world. But it has been damaged, and we lack the means to repair it." Dr. Parker examined the structure, his eyes filled with wonder. "This is incredible. If we can understand its mechanisms, we might be able to help." Eliza looked at her team, their faces illuminated by the glow of the heart. "We've come this far. Let's see if we can bring Aeloria back to life." Over the next several days, the crew worked tirelessly alongside Elindra and other surviving Aelorians. They studied the heart's technology, deciphered its functions, and devised a plan to repair it. The process was complex, requiring a blend of human ingenuity and Aelorian knowledge. As they worked, the bond between the crew and the Aelorians grew stronger. They shared stories, exchanged ideas, and learned from each other. It was a true collaboration, a testament to what could be achieved when different beings came together with a common purpose. One evening, as they were nearing the final stages of the repair, Elindra spoke to Eliza privately. "Your presence here has brought hope to my people. We are grateful." Eliza smiled. "We're honored to be here. This experience has been incredible for us as well." Elindra's eyes glowed with a soft light. "There is something else you should know. The signal we sent was not just a call for help. It was a message of unity, a reminder that we are all connected in this vast universe. We hoped that one day, it would bring us together with others who share that belief." Eliza felt a deep sense of connection to Elindra and her people. "And it has. We are united by our curiosity, our desire to learn, and our hope for a better future." The next day, the crew completed the repairs on the heart of Aeloria. As they activated the crystalline structure, it pulsed with a brilliant light, filling the chamber with an otherworldly glow. The energy flowed through the ruins, revitalizing the ancient technology and bringing the city back to life. The Aelorians watched in awe as their world began to heal. The plants glowed brighter, the air seemed fresher, and the ruins took on a new vibrancy. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to the power of collaboration and the resilience of life. Elindra turned to the crew, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have given us a second chance. We will honor your efforts and continue the work of rebuilding our world." As the crew prepared to leave Aeloria, they knew that their journey was far from over. They had made contact with an intelligent civilization, helped restore a devastated world, and forged a bond that transcended the boundaries of space and time. Dr. Eliza Thornton stood at the entrance of the ruins, looking out at the horizon. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice filled with determination. "There are countless worlds out there, and infinite possibilities. We will continue to explore, to learn, and to connect with others." The crew of the Odyssey nodded in agreement, their spirits high despite the challenges that lay ahead. They had made history, and they were ready to face whatever the universe had in store for them. As they boarded the Odyssey and prepared for the journey back to Earth, they knew that they carried with them not just the knowledge and experiences of their mission, but also the hopes and dreams of the Aelorians. Their adventure had only just begun, and the stars beckoned them to continue their quest for discovery and understanding. The journey back to Earth was filled with reflection and anticipation. The crew had experienced something extraordinary, and they were eager to share their discoveries with the world. They knew that their mission had the potential to change humanity's understanding of the universe and its place within it. As the Odyssey soared through the cosmos, the crew looked out at the stars, each one a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. They were pioneers, explorers, and ambassadors of peace and unity. Their journey had shown them that even in the vastness of space, they were not alone. The stars whispered their secrets, and the crew of the Odyssey was ready to listen. Chapter 5: The Revelation. Back on Earth, the news of the Odyssey's incredible journey spread like wildfire. The world watched in awe as the crew's adventures were broadcasted across every television screen and printed on the front pages of newspapers. Humanity's first contact with an intelligent alien civilization was a momentous occasion, sparking both excitement and contemplation about the universe's vast mysteries. Dr. Eliza Thornton and her team were hailed as heroes, their names etched into history books alongside the likes of explorers and visionaries. They were invited to speak at conferences, interviewed by journalists, and showered with accolades from governments and organizations around the world. But amidst the celebrations and accolades, there was an undercurrent of unease. The revelation of intelligent extraterrestrial life raised profound questions about humanity's place in the cosmos and the implications of contact with beings from beyond our solar system. Dr. Thornton found herself at the center of the storm, grappling with the weight of responsibility that came with their discovery. She spent long hours in meetings with world leaders, scientists, and diplomats, discussing the implications of first contact and how best to approach the new era of interstellar relations. "We have to tread carefully," she told her team during one of their private meetings. "Our encounter with the Aelorians has opened a door to a whole new world of possibilities. We need to ensure that we handle it with wisdom and foresight." The crew nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting a mix of excitement and apprehension. They knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were determined to navigate it together. As the weeks turned into months, humanity's fascination with the Aelorians and their world only grew. Scientists and researchers clamored to study the data and samples brought back by the Odyssey, hoping to unlock the secrets of Aeloria and its ancient civilization. Dr. Meera Patel was particularly busy, overseeing a team of biologists and ecologists studying the unique ecosystems of Aeloria. The planet's flora and fauna held untold secrets, and Meera was determined to uncover them. "We've barely scratched the surface of what Aeloria has to offer," she told her team as they analyzed samples in the lab. "Every discovery we make brings us closer to understanding the interconnected web of life on this planet." Dr. Robert Lang focused his efforts on deciphering the language and technology of the Aelorians. The symbols they had found in the ruins were a tantalizing puzzle, and Robert was determined to unlock their meaning. "I'm close to cracking the code," he told Eliza one day, excitement evident in his voice. "The language is incredibly complex, but I think I'm starting to understand it." Eliza smiled, knowing that Robert's breakthrough would be a major milestone in humanity's efforts to communicate with the Aelorians. "Keep up the good work, Robert. We're counting on you." As the months passed, the crew of the Odyssey became celebrities in their own right, their faces gracing magazine covers and television screens around the world. But amidst the fame and adulation, they remained humble, grounded by the knowledge that their journey was just beginning. Then, one day, a message arrived from Aeloria. It was Elindra, reaching out across the vast expanse of space to communicate with her newfound friends. "We have much to discuss," the message said, its words translated by Dr. Lang's language device. "The time has come for us to share our knowledge and wisdom with humanity. We believe that together, we can create a future of peace and prosperity for all." The crew of the Odyssey gathered in the control room to discuss the message, their hearts racing with excitement. This was what they had been waiting for, the opportunity to forge a bond with an alien civilization and learn from each other. "We have to accept," Eliza said, her voice filled with determination. "This is the chance of a lifetime, the culmination of everything we've worked for." The crew agreed unanimously, their resolve unwavering. They prepared to embark on a new journey, one that would take them back to Aeloria and beyond, into the unknown depths of the universe. As the Odyssey prepared to depart once again, the crew looked out at the stars, their hearts filled with hope and anticipation. They knew that the road ahead would be long and challenging, but they were ready to face it together, as explorers, scientists, and ambassadors of peace. The stars beckoned them onward, their silent promise of adventure and discovery echoing through the vastness of space. The crew of the Odyssey set their course, their eyes fixed on the horizon, ready to embrace whatever the universe had in store for them. And as the ship soared into the unknown, they knew that they were not alone, that they carried with them the hopes and dreams of all humanity. For in the endless expanse of the cosmos, there were no boundaries, no limits, only the boundless potential of the human spirit. Chapter 6: The Alliance. As the Odyssey soared through the depths of space once again, the crew felt a sense of anticipation and excitement building within them. They were embarking on a new chapter of their journey, one that held the promise of forging an alliance between humanity and the Aelorians. Dr. Eliza Thornton stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, her gaze fixed on the swirling expanse of stars outside the viewport. Beside her, Captain Jackson Royce monitored the ship's systems with a steady hand. "We're approaching Aeloria," he announced, his voice calm but tinged with excitement. "Prepare for orbital insertion." The crew sprang into action, their training kicking in as they prepared for the delicate maneuver. The Odyssey's engines hummed to life, guiding the ship into a stable orbit around the alien planet. As they descended towards the surface, the crew marveled at the beauty of Aeloria. The landscape stretched out beneath them, a patchwork of vibrant colors and exotic flora. It was a sight that filled them with awe and wonder, a reminder of the incredible diversity of life in the universe. The landing was smooth and uneventful, and soon the crew found themselves stepping onto the surface of Aeloria once again. They were greeted by Alindra and a group of Aelorians, their faces radiant with warmth and welcome. "We are honored to welcome you back to our world," Alindra said, her voice filled with sincerity. "We have much to discuss." The crew followed Alindra and her companions to the heart of the Aelorian city, where they were ushered into a grand hall adorned with intricate carvings and shimmering crystals. It was a place of beauty and serenity, a testament to the Aelorians' advanced civilization. As they sat down to talk, Alindra explained the purpose of their alliance. "For centuries, we have watched over the galaxy, seeking out civilizations like yours that show promise and potential. We believe that together, we can create a future of peace and prosperity for all." Dr. Thornton nodded, her eyes shining with excitement. "We share that vision. Humanity has long dreamed of exploring the stars and reaching out to other civilizations. This alliance is a step towards making that dream a reality." Over the coming weeks and months, the crew worked closely with the Aelorians to establish the terms of their alliance. They exchanged knowledge and technology, sharing the fruits of their respective civilizations' achievements. Dr. Meera Patel collaborated with Aelorian biologists and ecologists to study the planet's ecosystems, uncovering new species and unlocking the secrets of Aeloria's biodiversity. "We have so much to learn from each other," Meera said, her voice filled with enthusiasm. "By sharing our knowledge and expertise, we can create a better future for both our worlds." Dr. Robert Lang continued his efforts to decipher the Aelorians' language and technology, aided by Aelorian scholars and linguists. Together, they made significant progress, laying the groundwork for future communication and collaboration. "It's like solving a puzzle," Robert said, his eyes alight with excitement. "Every piece we uncover brings us closer to understanding the Aelorians' culture and history." As the alliance between humanity and the Aelorians deepened, the crew of the Odyssey found themselves at the forefront of a new era of interstellar cooperation. They traveled between Earth and Aeloria, serving as ambassadors and emissaries, building bridges between their two worlds. "We are part of something bigger than ourselves," Eliza said, her voice filled with pride. "This alliance represents the best of what humanity and the Aelorians have to offer. Together, we can achieve great things." The alliance between humanity and the Aelorians ushered in a new era of exploration and discovery, one filled with endless possibilities and boundless potential. Together, they ventured into the unknown depths of the universe, forging new alliances, encountering new civilizations, and unlocking the secrets of the cosmos. And as they journeyed onwards, the crew of the Odyssey knew that they were not just explorers, but pioneers, forging a path towards a brighter future for all. For in the vast expanse of space, there were no limits to what they could achieve, no boundaries to what they could become. And with the stars as their guide, they set out to write the next chapter in the epic saga of humanity's journey through the cosmos. Chapter 7: The Battle. The peace that had settled between humanity and the Aelorians was shattered one fateful day when a fleet of unknown ships descended upon Aeloria. The crew of the Odyssey watched in horror from their vantage point in orbit as the peaceful planet was engulfed in flames and chaos. "We have to do something," Captain Jackson Royce said, his voice tight with urgency. "We can't just stand by and watch." Dr. Eliza Thornton nodded grimly, her mind racing with possibilities. "We need to find out who these attackers are and why they're targeting Aeloria." The crew sprang into action, rallying their resources and coordinating their efforts to gather as much information as possible. Dr. Robert Lang worked frantically to intercept and decode the enemy's communications, while Dr. Meera Patel and Lieutenant Alex Chen analyzed sensor data to determine the size and strength of the enemy fleet. "It's unlike anything we've ever seen," Meera said, her voice filled with concern. "Their ships are highly advanced, with weapons capable of devastating an entire planet." As the crew raced against time to gather intelligence, the situation on Aeloria grew increasingly dire. The Aelorians fought bravely against the invaders, but they were outnumbered and outmatched. "We have to help them," Dr. Laura Kim said, her voice tinged with desperation. "We can't just leave them to fend for themselves." Eliza nodded, her jaw set with determination. "We'll do everything in our power to stop these invaders and protect Aeloria. We owe it to our allies and friends." The crew of the Odyssey sprang into action, mobilizing the ship's weapons systems and preparing for battle. They knew that they faced a formidable enemy, but they were determined to do whatever it took to defend Aeloria and its people. As the enemy fleet closed in, the crew of the Odyssey engaged them in a fierce battle. Laser fire and missiles streaked through space, filling the void with explosions and debris. The crew fought with courage and determination, their hearts fueled by the knowledge that they were fighting for a righteous cause. But despite their best efforts, the enemy proved to be a formidable foe. Their ships were faster and more maneuverable, their weapons more powerful and destructive. The crew of the Odyssey found themselves outmatched and overwhelmed, their ship battered and on the brink of destruction. "We can't keep this up," Captain Royce said, his voice strained with exhaustion. "We need to find a way to turn the tide." Eliza racked her brain for a solution, her mind racing with possibilities. Then, suddenly, inspiration struck. "The enemy's ships are vulnerable to a certain frequency of energy," she said, her voice filled with urgency. "If we can modulate our weapons to match that frequency, we might be able to disable their ships and turn the tide of battle." The crew worked quickly to implement Eliza's plan, reconfiguring the ship's weapon systems to emit the frequency that the enemy was vulnerable to. As they did, the tide of battle began to turn, with enemy ships faltering and falling out of formation. "We're doing it," Lieutenant Alex Chen said, her voice tinged with disbelief. "We're actually turning the tide of battle." The crew of the Odyssey fought with renewed determination, pressing their advantage and driving back the enemy forces. Slowly but surely, they gained the upper hand, forcing the invaders to retreat and leaving Aeloria safe once again. As the dust settled and the enemy ships disappeared into the depths of space, the crew of the Odyssey breathed a sigh of relief. They had emerged victorious, but the battle had taken its toll. "We did it," Eliza said, her voice filled with pride. "We saved Aeloria." But their victory came at a cost. Many lives had been lost in the battle, both Aelorian and human, and the scars of war would take time to heal. As the crew mourned their fallen comrades and tended to the wounded, they knew that their journey was far from over. "We may have won this battle, but the war is far from over," Captain Royce said, his voice heavy with sorrow. "We need to remain vigilant and prepared for whatever comes next." The crew nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting the solemn reality of their situation. The battle had shown them the true cost of war, but it had also strengthened their resolve to defend their allies and protect the galaxy from those who would seek to destroy it. And as they looked out at the stars, their hearts heavy with grief but filled with determination, they knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as warriors, as friends, and as guardians of peace. Chapter 8: The Aftermath. In the aftermath of the devastating battle, the crew of the Odyssey worked tirelessly to aid in the recovery efforts on Aeloria. Their victory had come at a heavy cost, but they were determined to help their allies rebuild and heal. Dr. Eliza Thornton and her team coordinated with Aelorian engineers and scientists to assess the damage to the planet's infrastructure and develop plans for reconstruction. They worked day and night, using the resources and technology at their disposal to repair the damage caused by the enemy attack. "It's going to take time, but we'll get through this together," Eliza said, her voice filled with determination. "We owe it to our friends on Aeloria to help them rebuild their world." The crew of the Odyssey pitched in wherever they could, assisting in the cleanup efforts and providing support to those affected by the battle. They formed bonds with the Aelorian people, forging friendships that would last a lifetime. "It's times like these that bring out the best in people," Captain Jackson Royce said, his voice filled with pride. "We may have faced adversity, but we've also shown what humanity is capable of when we come together." As the days turned into weeks, signs of progress began to emerge on Aeloria. The scars of war slowly began to fade, replaced by signs of hope and renewal. The Aelorian people worked tirelessly to rebuild their shattered world, their determination a testament to their resilience and strength. "It's incredible to see how far we've come," Dr. Meera Patel said, her eyes shining with pride. "Despite everything we've been through, we're still standing, stronger than ever." Dr. Robert Lang continued his efforts to decipher the Aelorians' language and technology, using the data gathered from the battle to further his research. He was determined to unlock the secrets of the Aelorian civilization and learn from their advanced technology. "We may have defeated the enemy, but there's still so much we don't know about the Aelorians," he said, his voice filled with curiosity. "I'm more determined than ever to uncover the truth." As the weeks turned into months, life on Aeloria began to return to normal. The scars of the battle remained, but the spirit of the Aelorian people was unbroken. They had faced adversity and emerged stronger than ever, united in their determination to rebuild their world and protect it from future threats. "We may have won this battle, but the war is far from over," Eliza said, her voice tinged with solemnity. "We need to remain vigilant and prepared for whatever comes next." The crew of the Odyssey nodded in agreement, their faces reflecting the gravity of their situation. They knew that the universe was a dangerous place, filled with unknown threats and challenges. But they were determined to face whatever came their way, together, as friends, allies, and guardians of peace. And as they looked out at the stars, their hearts filled with hope and determination, they knew that no matter what the future held, they would face it with courage, strength, and unwavering resolve. For they were the crew of the Odyssey, explorers of the cosmos, and nothing could stand in their way. Epilogue. Years had passed since the fateful battle that had tested the resolve of humanity and the Aelorians. The alliance forged between the two civilizations had grown stronger with time, built on a foundation of trust, cooperation, and mutual respect. On Aeloria, the scars of war had faded, replaced by a newfound sense of hope and optimism. The planet thrived once again, its cities bustling with activity, its people united in their determination to create a better future for themselves and their descendants. The crew of the Odyssey had returned to Earth, their mission complete but their journey far from over. They were hailed as heroes, their names etched into the annals of history alongside the greatest explorers and adventurers of all time. Dr. Eliza Thornton continued her work as a leading scientist and advocate for interstellar cooperation. She traveled the world, sharing the story of humanity's encounter with the Aelorians and the lessons they had learned from their journey through the cosmos. Captain Jackson Royce had retired from active duty, but his legacy lived on in the hearts and minds of those he had served with. His leadership and courage had inspired his crew to rise to the challenge, and his name would be remembered for generations to come. Dr. Meera Patel and Dr. Robert Lang had returned to their respective fields of study, their experiences on Aeloria shaping their research and fueling their curiosity about the universe. They continued to push the boundaries of human knowledge, inspired by the wonders they had witnessed on their journey. Lieutenant Alex Chen and Dr. Laura Kim had remained with the crew of the Odyssey, their bonds of friendship and camaraderie stronger than ever. Together, they faced each new challenge with courage and determination, knowing that they were part of something greater than themselves. As the years passed, humanity's reach expanded further into the cosmos, exploring new worlds, encountering new civilizations, and unlocking the secrets of the universe. the alliance between humanity and the Aelorians served as a beacon of hope and inspiration, a testament to what could be achieved when different species came together in pursuit of a common goal. And as they looked out at the stars, their hearts filled with wonder and awe, the crew of the Odyssey knew that their journey was far from over. For in the vast expanse of the cosmos, there were always new horizons to explore, new mysteries to uncover, and new adventures waiting to be had. And together, they would face the future with courage, curiosity, and boundless optimism, united in their quest to boldly go where no one had gone before.